Welcome to World Epic History. Today, we journey back to Roman Britain, where one woman rose against an empire. Boudica, queen of the Iceni, led her people in a desperate fight for freedom. Her revolt shook Rome's might, burned cities to ash, and carved her name into legend. This is the story of defiance, courage, and a queen's war against Rome. In Roman Britain, the year 60 AD brought unrest. The Iceni tribe, once allies of Rome, felt betrayed. Their queen, Boudica, rose to lead them. With fiery hair and commanding presence, she embodied resistance. For the first time, a woman stood at the forefront of an ancient war against an empire, igniting the Iceni rebellion. The roots of Boudica's revolt began with betrayal. Her husband, King Prasutagus of the Iceni, had died, leaving his kingdom jointly to Rome and his daughters. Rome ignored his will. They seized lands, flogged Boudica, and violated her daughters. What was meant as subjugation instead fueled an inferno of rage. The Iceni rebellion was born from humiliation and injustice. The humiliation of their queen transformed the Iceni into warriors of vengeance. Neighboring tribes, long oppressed by Roman taxes and cruelty, joined the cause. The Trinovantes rallied beside Boudica. What began as local outrage became a national uprising. For the first time, scattered tribes of Britain united against Rome, seeking to reclaim honor and independence. At the time, the Roman governor Gaius Suetonius Paulinus marched west to suppress Druids on the island of Mona. His absence left Roman settlements in eastern Britain vulnerable. Boudica saw her chance. With thousands at her side, she prepared to strike the heart of Roman Britain, beginning with their proud colony, Camulodunum. Camulodunum, the Roman colony built on Iceni lands, was their first target. Once a thriving settlement of veterans, it symbolized Rome's arrogance. The Iceni in Trinovantes stormed its walls, slaughtered inhabitants, and set the town ablaze. The temple of Claudius, a towering monument of Rome, fell in flames. Camulodunum became the spark that lit the Iceni rebellion. News of Camulodunum's destruction spread like wildfire. Roman officials panicked. A small force under Procurator Catus Decianus tried to intervene, but they were overwhelmed. The Romans underestimated Boudica's strength. With her warriors numbering in tens of thousands, she marched next to Londinium, the young but thriving hub of Roman Britain. Londinium was undefended. Governor Suetonius, still campaigning far away, could not protect it. Boudica descended with fury. Traders, officials, and settlers fled in terror, but many were trapped. The Iceni burned Londinium to ashes. The Roman heart of commerce lay in ruins. Boudica's rebellion shook Rome's grip on Britain to its core. Verulamium, the next Roman town, met the same fate. Boudica's warriors left behind a trail of scorched earth. Roman chroniclers described entire towns wiped out, with tens of thousands slain. The Iceni rebellion was not merely a protest, it was a war of annihilation against Roman Britain. The ancient war consumed all in its path. By now, Boudica's army swelled beyond imagination. Ancient accounts claimed nearly 100,000 warriors rallied under her banner. Chariots thundered across the countryside, and tribes once divided stood together. Rome's empire, thought invincible, trembled. For the first time, Britain's tribes believed victory over Rome was possible. The Iceni rebellion reached its peak of power. As flames consumed Roman towns, Governor Suetonius raced back from Mona. He commanded only a fraction of the legions, yet discipline was his weapon. Choosing not to defend Londinium, he preserved his soldiers for a decisive battle. He gathered survivors, reorganized ranks, and prepared to face Boudica's horde. In Ramang, Britain, survival depended on one last stand. The battlefield was chosen carefully. Suetonius placed his legions in a narrow defile, shielded by woods at their back. Boudica's warriors, countless and furious, gathered on open ground. They brought wagons of families to witness Rome's fall. The stage was set for one of ancient war's most dramatic clashes, the final confrontation of the Iceni rebellion. Before battle, Boudica addressed her people. She declared Rome had robbed them of freedom, abused their queen, and enslaved their children. She called on warriors to fight not as subjects, but as Britons, defending their land. Her voice carried across the plain, igniting courage. For the Iceni, this was more than war. It was survival, vengeance, and honor. Suetonius answered with steel. His legionnaires formed tight ranks, shields interlocked, spears poised. Behind them, cavalry prepared to charge. He told his men that Rome's discipline would overcome barbarian fury. As drums beat and horns sounded, two worlds collided: order against chaos, empire against rebellion. The fate of Ramang, Britain hung on that day. The Iceni charged with thunderous cries. Chariots raced forward, warriors hurled spears, and women wailed war chants. But Roman lines held firm. Spears pierced flesh, shields absorbed blows, and disciplined ranks advanced step by step. What the Britons saw as overwhelming numbers crumbled before Roman precision. The Iceni rebellion, once unstoppable, began to break. Then came the Roman counterattack. Cavalry swept across the flanks, trampling warriors beneath iron hooves. The legions pushed forward, forming a wall of death. The Iceni were trapped families, wagons, and warriors crushed together. What began as a battle became a massacre. Ancient war showed its brutal truth. Rebellion against Rome carried a terrible price. The battlefield turned red. Roman blades cut down warriors without mercy. Women and children, trapped behind the wagons, perished alongside their men. Chroniclers claimed nearly 80,000 Britons fell that day, while Rome lost only a few hundred. The Iceni rebellion, fierce and righteous, ended in ruin. Rome's discipline crushed the fury of Boudica's people. Boudica's fate remained shrouded in mystery. Some accounts said she took poison to avoid capture. Others claimed illness carried her away. No Ramang triumph displayed her in chains. She died as she lived defiant, refusing submission to empire. For her people, she became more than a queen. She became a legend of resistance in ancient war. After the revolt, Rome tightened its grip on Britain. Suetonius punished tribes suspected of disloyalty, enforcing harsher rule. Yet even in victory, Rome feared. The scale of the Iceni rebellion had shaken the empire's confidence. For years, Rome stationed more legions, knowing that the flame of defiance could rise again among the Britons. The Iceni were broken, but not forgotten. Survivors whispered of their queen's fiery hair and chariot racing into battle. To Rome, she was a rebel. To her people, she was a protector. In the shadows of Roman Britain, stories of Boudica endured, reminding every generation that freedom had been fought for in blood. In Rome itself, senators debated the revolt. Some urged abandoning Britain, calling it too costly to hold. Yet Rome remained, unwilling to concede empire's edge. Still, the name Boudica haunted their memory. A warning that even the mightiest empire could be challenged by a woman's courage and a nation's rage. Though Rome claimed victory, scars of the Iceni rebellion lingered. Fields lay empty, towns in ruins, and Roman Britain trembled with unease. Veterans rebuilt walls, but whispers of Boudica's fury haunted the frontier. Her war proved that empire could bleed. To many Britons, her defiance became a silent shield against despair under Roman rule. Roman chroniclers Tacitus and Dio Cassius wrote of Boudica with both awe and contempt. To them, she was a barbarian queen, ferocious, dangerous, yet unforgettable. Their words preserved her story for centuries. Even through Roman eyes, Boudica emerged larger than life, embodying both the fear and respect she inspired during her war against Rome. For the Britons, Boudica's defeat was not the end, but a seed of identity. Her memory wove itself into the fabric of resistance. Whenever Roman Britain tightened its chains, people remembered a queen who once rose in defiance. Boudica became a mirror of hope, proof that even subjugated tribes carried the spirit of freedom. Centuries later, as Rome itself crumbled, legends of Boudica endured. Medieval chroniclers told of her fiery chariot, and in the modern age, she rose again as a symbol of Britain's defiance. From Victorian statues to national memory, her name stood alongside liberty itself. The Iceni queen who once fought Rome now lived as a timeless icon. Yet behind the myth was a woman of flesh and blood. Boudica was a mother, a widow, and a leader forced by Rome's cruelty into war. Her story reminds us that rebellion often begins with injustice, and that the cry for freedom can echo louder than armies. Boudica's war was lost, but her spirit never surrendered. The smoke of Boudica's war faded, but her defiance lingered. Roman Britain rebuilt its cities, raised new temples, and reasserted its power. Yet beneath the stones of Londinium and Verulamium lay the ashes of rebellion. Every Roman road carried echoes of Iceni hoofbeats, a reminder that empire was never unchallenged. For Rome, the lesson was bitter. Conquest required more than force. The Iceni rebellion revealed the dangers of arrogance, the peril of ignoring local customs, and the cost of injustice. Empires fall not only to armies, but to the fury of those denied dignity. Boudica had proven that even the greatest empire could tremble. For Britain, Boudica's legacy endured across centuries. She was invoked by rebels, celebrated by poets, and honored by rulers. Each retelling reshaped her image, sometimes savage, sometimes saintly, but always unbroken. Through fire and defeat, her story became Britain's first tale of national resistance. A myth that survived long after Roman Britain was gone. Today, statues of Boudica stand in London, where once her fires burned. Tourists pass, unaware they walk the streets where rebellion raged. Yet her spirit lingers in bronze and stone. Boudica remains a symbol of defiance, a reminder that freedom is fragile, and that even against impossible odds, courage can rewrite history. The story of Boudica is not only about an ancient war. It is about the eternal struggle for dignity, for identity, and for the unbreakable spirit of humanity. She rose from the shadows of oppression, carried the hopes of her people, and dared to confront the greatest empire of her age. Though her armies fell and her rebellion was crushed, her defiance echoed far beyond her time. Rome, vast and powerful, seemed invincible. Yet even Rome trembled before a queen who refused to bow. Cities burned, legions staggered, and for a fleeting moment, the empire's grip on Britain nearly slipped away. Boudica's defeat did not erase her. Instead, it transformed her into legend. Across centuries, poets, rulers, and rebels invoked her name. Statues now stand where her fires once raged, reminding all who pass that courage can outlast conquest. From the ashes of the Iceni rebellion, a timeless truth endures. Power may conquer, but memory outlives empire. This was not merely a war of tribes and soldiers. It was the war of a queen. Boudica's stand against Rome remains a testament that even in the face of overwhelming might, the human spirit can rise, resist, and never be forgotten. Thank you for watching World Epic History.